Okay, hey y'all. So I'm back with another Summer House Martha's Vineyard review. This is really not going to be that long a review. I say that every time, and then I be here for a couple, like for 15, 20,000 minutes. I promise this really isn't going to be long. Like I have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I got like 7 lines about this whole show. This episode wasn't really a whole lot. I didn't even take that many notes. I'm trying to think what happened this episode. So they finished getting off the boat. Like I said, y'all know that. Oh gosh, what is his name? Is it Alex? Alex and Summer had their conversation. Everybody gets off the boat. Blah 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 blah. They're going back to the house. So the first thing I have on my notes is that Shaniece's whole personality is sex. I don't like people like that. I don't. First of all, I don't like anybody whose whole personality is like centered on one specific thing in general. That pisses me off. But specifically when somebody's personality is just sex, like all you talk about is sex 24/7, 24 hours, 365. I don't know anything about Shaniece other than she likes to fuck. Excuse my language. That's all I know about her. I don't know anything else about Shaniece. All I know is that, oh, and I found out this episode that she broke. Like, my thing is, why couldn't you give us more of that story? All we know about Shaniece is that she likes to have sex. Everybody likes to have sex, so I'm lost. Like, give us a little bit more substance, okay? We need a little bit more substance to that. Let's see what else happened. I'm trying to think who had a conversation. Was it Bria? And maybe Shaniece maybe had a conversation or something like that. Somebody had a conversation saying that they think that Jasmine is pregnant because they said her titties is much bigger, and you can tell that Jasmine titties are bigger. I don't know why that is, but they do look bigger. Jasmine has really been, I mean, it's only been episode 2, but so far she has played the back. She hasn't really like been the person in the front. I think this season we're gonna see her more into the back because I think she might have like paid attention to what a lot of people were saying about her, which is like, girl, you was doing the most. And this is a perfect example of why you don't have to. You see how all of this drama is just naturally occurring because you have people living in a house together, right? That's all we needed last season. We didn't need you to play producer. And I get that was your first season, so I'm gonna give her a little bit of grace from that for that. But like, yeah, this is the season to humble her, right? To humble Jasmine, and it seems like she's taking a step back and stuff like that, and that's good, girl, because you was so annoying last season, right? So then all of the guys, I think except Preston, are downstairs and they're talking. And Amir said to Alex, like, oh, I saw you and Summer talking for a long time. What was that conversation? He pretty much just explained, like she wanted more out of the situation than what it was. I'm good off of it, blah, 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 blah. So then Nick was like, well, are you going to repeat? And I guess because maybe the white people don't know what beat means. Maybe that's why they had to explain it. But y'all watching me, so y'all know what that means. And he was like, maybe you should rebeat. And he was like, Amir and Alex was like, well, why would you want him to rebeat? And Amir in his confessional was like, maybe because Nick actually wants to. Yeah, Nick is very much so attracted to Jordan. He's attracted to almost all of the girls on the cast. I don't think there's anything wrong with the fact that he finds them attractive. I don't see anything wrong with that. But I think Alex said like, no, he's kind of done with that. So then they talk about having this little decades party or whatever, where everybody's supposed to come down dressed like a specific decade. I didn't write down everybody's outfit because I didn't really care. But I do have here that Jasmine came down as a 50s housewife, and Amir said the same thing everybody was thinking. Girl, the point was to come as somebody that you not. Hello? Because you being a 50s, dressing up as a 50s housewife, all you did was just put on some different clothes. That's you, sis. That's you, right? So then they went through all of the outfits, and Shaniece didn't really have an outfit. Like, she didn't really put any thought or nothing like that into it. It was just, she didn't really have much, right? So they set that press, then run. So right after that, they do this game about, like, spill the tea or whatever. And so one of the questions, the first thing was like, like, Shaniece came and was like, oh, I want everybody to take shots. Like, Shaniece is the party girl. I think that's why her and Bria get along so well, because they seem to be on the same, like, wavelength of, like, partying. But my thing is, Shaniece, like, I think everybody, I think she's too much sometimes. Like, even for me, she's too much, but you can tell by like the reaction of the rest of the cast sometimes by her. So like when she said, oh, it's shot o'clock, and everybody was like, well, we already have a drink. Oh, y'all boring. And it was like, well, pull a card, and the card said everybody had to take a shot. Now I do think everybody should have just obliged since we're playing the game, but you can tell she just do too much. Everybody's not always on that type of time. Not all the time. It's really annoying. So she went to go get shots. And when she went to go do that, they pulled another card. And the question was, who do you think is the worst dresser? Now, I don't remember who the question was for, but Summer jumped in and said, like, Shaniece is the worst dresser. And then a couple of other people co-signed and was like, yeah, she pretty much is. And so I guess she overheard it when she was making a shot. And she was like, so y'all are trying to call me the worst dresser? That's because everybody's shit in here is fake. And Preston was like, well, my shit might be fake, but it's nice. But it's nice, right? But it's nice. So then she goes upstairs and she proceeds to go in the bathroom and cry. I'm like, girl... we're not gonna do this. We're not gonna do, like, I get drama, but we're not gonna conjure up drama just for the sake of it. So she's like, who would say that? It's just a terrible thing to say. And I'm like, what is your problem? So Bria goes upstairs to go and check on her, right? And she was like, are you crying? Bria was like, are you crying? And she was like, yes, because I don't have any money. I don't have any money to buy clothes. And Summer knows that. So at first, I'm gonna be real. At first, I was like, oh, okay, I kind of feel bad. Because she pretty much said that she had a job and then they transferred her to a new state. And then right after, like maybe not that much longer, she got fired after that, right? So I partially felt bad a little bit. But then I thought about it and I'm like, well, unless last season too, girl, did you have a job last season? Because if we going off of, if you also had a job last season, girl, you was probably still the worst dresser. And let me be very clear. The men on this show dress better than the girls on this show. None of you bitches can dress. Let's clear out for a second. Y'all said, oh, she's the worst of the best. No, she's the worst of the worst, because none of you, I looked at everybody's outfit too, the rest of the episode, none of you hoes can dress. And that's okay, because we're not here for y'all fashion senses. But let's be clear, none of you bitches can dress, okay? And when she went upstairs, you still like see the words of people talking downstairs. And people was like, I would have said the same thing, like she don't. So what is Summer's friend's name? Is it Noelle? I think maybe, I want to say it's Noelle. I could be wrong, but y'all know who I'm talking about, the new girl this season, right? And she said in her confessional that she feels like Summer didn't have to say anything at all. Like, if that was my friend, I wouldn't have said anything. But my thing is, we're all friends though. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's one thing if it's Summer and it's her and they're a bunch of around a whole bunch of people that they don't know. We're all friends. All of us have went on vacation together except Jasmine. Like, I would think that if there's somewhere that I can be kind of playful and funny, or even if I'm dead ass serious, it would be amongst this group. I just wouldn't say that about my friend. Okay, well, that's you, sis. So I feel like the story is gonna be that Noelle and Summer like fall out and don't talk, because that's what it seemed like it's building up to, right? So Noelle comes upstairs and was like, I wouldn't have said that. I don't think that's, but y'all know how AKAs get. No shade. I wouldn't have did that if that was me. Da 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 da. So then Shaniece comes downstairs or whatever, and Summer and people are coming up to her, like all of the girls are like, well, what's wrong? And Summer was like, are you mad at me or something? And she was like, I just didn't like the fact that you said that. And she was like, well, my bad, girl. I wasn't trying to hurt your feelings or nothing. And then she just started naming, like, Amir's probably the worst dresser, which he probably is. This person's the worst dresser. This person's the worst dresser. Like, I wasn't really trying to say nothing to, hurt your feelings or anything like that. But she said, and I don't know, maybe it was Noelle and Summer that was in a confessional together, and Summer was like, but the only reason I said that is because the majority of the time when I see Shaniece, she doesn't really have clothes on. All she has on is like a bikini top and maybe some shorts, and they clicked and rolled through. That is for the most part. Shaniece walks around that house with no clothes on. So you kind of worst dresser because you don't even really dress. That's a fact. And then when you actually look at her outfits, she is the worst. And that's okay, girl. Like, grow up and get the hell over it. Nobody cares, right? So Then, everybody start drinking. Everybody start turning up because Shaniece is like, okay, I'm over it. I just want to turn up. I wonder, does Shaniece party the way that she does? I don't want to say because of her job. I don't know. I feel like Shaniece needs to probably, I think she has some things that she needs to work on internally. And I feel like maybe that's why she goes as hard as she does, and she does so much. I always feel like when people do a lot like that, it's for a reason. It's like very attention seeking, in my opinion, and I feel like there's always a deeper reason to that. She could just be like that, I don't know, but it gives attention seeking vibes, and I feel like I encourage everybody to go to therapy. Even if there ain't nothing wrong with you, go to therapy. So they start dancing or whatever. She starts popping the no ass that she got. So everybody's just sitting there chilling, and Nick is sitting, on the couch while Shaniece is next to him, bouncing her ass up and down. She pulling out her titties. Woo, 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 woo. And so Amir gets up and, in the middle, like while he's there, he's texting his girlfriend and he's like, oh, babe, like, what do you think I should eat? And she writes back and she's like, was that text even meant for me? Because that doesn't make any sense. Who was you talking to? So he leaves and he goes in the back room and he calls her and he's like, what's your problem? She's like, I don't know. That just seemed like that came out of nowhere in the middle of our conversation. So who is it that you're talking to? And he was like, well, why does it seem like you're trying to accuse me of something? I'm not. Girl, how you gonna say you ain't trying to accuse him of something, but then also say, well, who were you talking to? That don't make no sense. So then he says, well, I think he was like, oh, I'm not okay. She's like, are you okay? And he said no. And she was like, why? She's like, because the girls are in there and it's just a lot going on. And it's a lot of, the girls are in there shaking their ass and stuff. And I just don't necessarily feel comfortable. And then in his confessional, he's like, if the reason I'm getting up is because, if my girlfriend was there and she saw that, she would literally kill me. Okay, this is the thing. And then he talked about, how Nick was disrespecting Tasia by sitting there. This is my whole thing. Number one, Amir, we don't care about you and your girlfriend. Like, no disrespect, but we don't care. And your girlfriend seems like real controlling. It seems like you're scared of her. Like, it seems like you're scared. Like, this is my thing. It's one thing if you wanted to be respectful, right? But it didn't come off like you was doing it because you truly wanted to be respectful. It came off like, this woman will literally hurt me if I sit right here. Like, that's what it came off as. And the way that I look at it, I'm talking about if it was just me, right? But I'm different than a lot of people. If I'm in a relationship, right? And I've watched, and I'm 9 times out of 10, if my nigga's gonna be on the show, I'll watch the first season. So I saw exactly how everything went. I know, okay, we're gonna have this bitch Shaniece here that's gonna be taking off her clothes. We got this. These bitches is crazy. They like to shake their ass. They like to do this. If I'm okay with you going back on this show, then I'm gonna assume some of the same shit that happened last season, as far as the way that everybody parties, would continue this time. So I'm saying, for me, it would not bother me. I think now some people was like, Nick was like, was being handsy. Now the cut of that scene that we saw, Nick was not being handsy. He didn't touch anybody. He was just looking. I'm talking about from what we saw. I can't speak from what actually happened, because all of the guys later on agreed that Nick was being handsy. But from everything we saw, Nick was just sitting there and he was just looking and he was just vibing or whatever, right? If it was me, I'm not gonna be mad at my nigga for that, because I would have already expected that that's what the vibe is gonna be in that house. As long as you ain't touching nobody, hello, as long as you ain't kissing nobody, as long as you ain't fucking on nobody, I don't care. I don't care. My thing is, if it was really that big of a problem, then I would say to you, I don't want you to go on this show. And now we have to have a conversation about what that looks like. But I would not get with you knowing what happened on this show. My thing is, his girlfriend, let's take Amir out of it. Nick's girlfriend was on this show last year and she saw everything that happened last year and he still came. So it clearly wasn't whatever happened last season, which he did kind of do a lot last season. Clearly it wasn't, I don't want to say it wasn't that big of a deal, but they clearly got past it. Meaning she knew when he came into the house this season, there's still going to be, she knew for a fact there was going to be bitches around. And she knew that sometimes 10 days probably going popping it and dropping it. I highly doubt that bothers her. As long as he's keeping his hands to his daggone self, I don't care about, I wouldn't care. I'm just saying, if it was me, I would not care. Not in this situation. Who cares? Like, girl, we on a show. Everybody's out here just trying to have fun. Ain't nobody, okay? Jordan don't want Amir. She made that very clear. And don't nobody else in this house want your man, girl. Nobody. The only person that's really truly wanted in this house is Alex, and guess what? He's single. So he can do whatever he pleases. But that whole swing, that was just annoying. It was coming off like, I don't know. It's annoying. I don't want to meet Amir's girlfriend at all. I hope she don't come on here. So then I think Jordan talks to her dad about her wig deal, because I think she has something wrong with her hair. I don't know. My baby was crying. I couldn't hear the TV at that point. Then I think Preston, Summer, and Shaniece. No, Preston, Jordan, yes, and Summer. Sorry, they go out to brunch while everybody else goes to work out. So when they're at brunch, Preston asks like, how was Alex and stuff like that. And she was like, I mean, he's a good cuddler and he's a great kisser, but like that's about it. And then Jordan was like, whoa, like, what is it between y'all? She was like, oh, it's nothing. And she was like, well, at the table, your reaction made it seem like there was more to the situation with y'all. And Summer is trying to die, is really trying to put on for the rest of us, like, I don't care. Girl, you care. You care. And you made it very clear that when you was talking to him on the boat, that you cared. He was not just somebody that you was fucking. You cared a whole lot more. So, like, let's just be real, okay? Then when we go to where everybody was working out, I'm trying to think, what did they talk about? Oh, they asked Shaniece how did she feel about, like, was she feeling better after the comment that Summer made? Now, mind you, that morning before they left out, Summer did come into her room and say, do you have something that I can use? Which I do find ironic as hell that you called her the worst dresser and then came to ask to borrow something of hers. That's hilarious. I would have told you to get the fuck out of my room too. Like, jokingly, but I would have told you to get out. And then Shaniece says, I think that Summer is jealous of me. Stop. Full stop. Full stop, sis. I'm gonna, and mind you, Summer ain't my favorite person, but I'm gonna have to call bullshit. And you want to know what she says? She says, I think that Summer's jealous of me because when we all went on that trip, I was talking to Summer about the different guys that I was talking to, and they're people of status, like they're not 9-to-5ers, okay? And so she was like, well, how do you even get to talk to guys like that? And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, I don't like Shaniece. Let's just put it out there. I don't like her. She get on my nerves. Girl, girl, you don't even have a job. What is she jealous of you about you having no income? You have no income other than this show. What is there to be jealous of? Now, I do think that Summer has some ways about her that I don't necessarily like. But do I think she's jealous of you? No, not at all. And for you to bring that up, you think she's jealous because, and this is my whole thing. If the men that you talk to aren't 9-to-5ers, then why can't you buy clothes? Why are these quote unquote men with status? Why are they not dropping a bag on you? So something's not adding up. Because if you're really getting to these niggas the way that you're saying, we all know that the majority of these niggas is gonna drop a bag, especially if they're in the status that you're talking about. So I'm very confused. You wanna cry broke and you don't got money, but then you also want to try to tout that you talk to niggas with money. Well, what's the point if they not coming up off the bag, sis? Well, what are you bragging for? You brag like that when niggas is actually dropping a bag on you. So are you just fucking for free? Would you fuck me for free? It's another one. Like, what are we doing here? It doesn't make sense to me. So all of these niggas that's not 9-to-5ers that have status and all of this stuff like that, if they care so much for you, they will go and they would drop a bag on you at, I don't know, Bloomingdale's, bitch, at the bare minimum, Saks, Nordstrom, Gucci, Chanel. I'm a Chanel girl personally. Fendi, where's your shit at? That shit annoyed the hell out of me. Oh my gosh. Let me see. Did anything else happen? Oh, also, this is to wrap it up. So also, see, I'm at 20 minutes. Perfect. So also, when Preston and Shaniece and Jordan, no, when Preston, Summer, and Jordan, when they were on their way to lunch or to brunch, they were talking about how they felt like Nick was a little handsy. Now, I want to wait to see how this plays out because I don't want to like have too much judgment until I see it. So it shows like, 2 little scenes where, he was like kind of like really being huggy on them. But they did also say that it's when he's drunk that he's like that, right? Oh, he can get a little handsy, and it's like, oh, I just don't want to disrespect Tasia. I just don't want to disrespect Tasia. I don't want to disrespect her. So then when everybody gets back to the house, Preston and Alex, like all of the guys are sitting downstairs, and it's like slowly brought up a little bit, like, because I think they had talked about the night before and how Amir was like, yeah, I left because I was just uncomfortable. And Nick was like, well, why you just didn't sit there like I did? And they was like, is that what you think that you did? And he was like, well, what did I do? And everybody said that he did get a little handsy. So again, maybe in the regular, like, real life version, that's what happened. But if we're going off of what we saw, we didn't see him touching anybody. We just saw him looking at everybody dancing, right? So he was like, wait, hold on. And so Preston was like, you might want to talk to Jordan and Summer because some of the girls feel like you get too handsy, like not in a sleazy way, but they don't know like if Tasia is okay with that. And so Nick's thing is like, okay, well, now I'm a little uncomfortable because I've hung out with all of these girls before. And if that's how they felt, why did they never say like, oh, you're doing too much. Oh, please don't do this. Oh, please don't do that. Oh, please don't do that. Oh, please do that. Like, why didn't they do that at that time versus like now going around and saying that I'm doing too much? So you could tell he's like very thrown off. So he gets up and he goes into their room and he was like, do I ever make y'all feel uncomfortable? And Summer was like, you could be a little handsy. And Jordan was like that. And so then the episode cuts off. So this is how I look at it, right? I'm trying to be fair with the whole situation. I'm trying to be fair because I'm also going off of last season, when last season Bria went out of her way to go and tell Nick's girlfriend about the fact that he had slid in some people's DMs when that wasn't necessary. So this is what I'm going to say. If Jordan and Summer are uncomfortable, right? I do think that if y'all are cool with Nick, this is my thing, especially if it's not in a sleazy way, like y'all already said, y'all don't think it's malicious, y'all don't think anything like that, then I do agree with him that like if y'all are cool the way that y'all said y'all are, then y'all probably could have had that conversation with him and said, hey, look, we don't know, we just feel a little bit uncomfortable. Sometimes when you get a little drunk, you get a little handsy or whatever. And I can understand that like as a man and as a black man, that's probably like, that's like the last thing that you want to be said about you. I think as a man, period, is that you making women feel uncomfortable and they feel like, now y'all might not be calling him creepy, but that is how that comes off. Like you're a creep, like you just want to touch all over us. And that's how Jordan kind of phrased it at first, which is like, Nick, he all on my body. He all on my body. Is that what it is? Or I have mixed feelings. I don't trust Jordan and Summer all like that. So I have mixed feelings. We're going to see how the rest of this plays out. But again, if point of the matter though is if he's making y'all feel uncomfortable, then all of that stuff, just stop touching him. How about that? Don't give him a hug, wave, and just leave it right at that. Don't do nothing else. Don't do nothing else with any of them. Okay? And I don't understand how Summer House showed Nick standing when Jordan was getting dressed and said, oh, you look sexy. How was that him being handsy? That's not him being handsy. And the other one, yes, I feel like when he was taking a picture, he was doing a little bit too much. But again, if that's your friend, you should be able to have that conversation with him. But that's all I got. See, I told y'all 25 minutes. All right, 23 minutes. I'm out, y'all. Tell me what y'all think. Bye.